Shalom, Yashrala. This is your brother Dawada from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with another video. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Citation to you, Octane, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth. All right, we're going to do a follow-up lesson on the lesson we did the other day about America being described in the Bible. All right, now we're going to get into some of the wickedness, just some of the wickedness, that America has committed, especially the wickedness that's actually, that was committed by America that was documented in the Bible, which further proves that America was written about in the scriptures, We're going to get into a lot of the atrocities that these Edomites pretty much perpetrated here in America, So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump off in this here lesson. All right, and we're going to start in the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. All right. It says, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. And we went through this in the lesson about Esau, and we also went through this in the lesson about America being described. Okay. Now, Esau is basically, how do you want to say, for an example, Esau is like the king of a kingdom, right? And, if you blame in his kingdom, it's still Esau who's in control, So, more or less they're going hand in hand together, So some of the things that Esau has committed, he did it, under the banner of America, more or less to say. And the things that America did, they did under the guidance of Esau. So they're going to go hand in hand, okay? So it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, okay? So, we got into this. The earth was given into the hand of who? Esau. Also, where's he ruling from? America, okay? Now, he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who, where, and who is he? Now, this actually happened, with, what's that guy's name? Leonardo da Vinci and them, when they repainted Yahweh Shah's picture, okay? Now, that didn't happen here in America, but when you go around the world right now, you go anywhere where Catholicism is, okay? And you look at that same depiction that they're trying to show off of, let's say, the picture they have of the mother and the child, okay? When you look at those pictures around the world, even the Pope himself, right, he bows down to, how do you say, a Jake woman and a Jake child, The images that they have over there of the depiction of Mary and who the world calls Jesus Christ, over there in Europe and stuff like that, and in the Vatican and stuff like that, they bow down to a black image, And if you want to look at that, you can look up, Google search the Black Madonna, or you could just look up pictures of the Pope, the Pope bowing down onto Mary, And when you see it outside of America, they're all black images, okay? So a lot of the majority of the places in the world, that image is a so-called image of color, But here in America, they push and propagate that, these are so-called white people, Edomites, But anywhere else in the world, they understand. They already know this, And a lot of the other countries you go to, they'll flat out and tell you, that the real Israelites or the real Jews are the so-called black people in America, But here in America, they have that covered up, That's something that's hidden and shown, and you can't talk about it here in America, okay? So covering the faces of the judges thereof, Like I said, it didn't actually. Leonardo da Vinci, they wasn't here in America when all that happened. However, it's being pushed and propagated here in America. Like I said, yeah, I believe they were in somewhere over in one of the European countries at the point in time. But wherever they was at, when they did that painting, till this day, they still, like I said, they still are bowing down to black images. You can find a picture of the Pope before the Pope that you got now, with him bowing down into a black image, We're going to get into the next scripture. It's going to be in the book of Amos. It says, behold, Amos 9:8, behold, the eyes of Yahweh power are upon the sinful kingdom. Okay, and I will destroy it off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. Okay, so we went into this scripture as well, So whose kingdom is the Most High's eyes on right now, okay? It's the one kingdom that the earth was given into the hands of, okay? And how would you so-called rate or, like if you had to rate somebody's service, more or less to say, you know, is it good service or is it bad service, right? How would you rate this here kingdom, okay? The Most High said that this kingdom was sinful, okay? So we know that this kingdom is talking about basically the Babylonian kingdom, Babylon the Great, you know? So if you was to sit there and rate that kingdom, how would it be rated? Okay? And that kingdom would be rated as a sinful kingdom because all it's doing is pushing and propagating sins like the LGBT community type of deal, you know? They pushing abortions over here. They pushing basically covering the faces of the judges over here, you know, on a way lower level, you know. The imagery of Jake's basically here in America is that we all thugs and criminals and, you know, we just mean and evil people, you know. So they further covering the faces of the judges here, you know. They try to hide who we are, you know. They say that, oh, no, they just nothing but slaves over there, you know. I'm going to jump to this next scripture real quick. Jeremiah chapter 51. We'll go down to verse 7. Okay, now that same sinful kingdom, all right, like I said, we're talking about Babylon the Great, you know, America. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay, the nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, and some of the sins or the wickedness of America is the fact that you over here, like scriptures say, woe to him that gives his neighbor strong drink, you know. Now that's talking about more or less like, you know, your neighbor, you know, the whole neighbor deal is easy to break down. Fuck, just look in your neighborhood, see who lives next to you, you know. Here in America is pretty much segregated without officially being segregated. That's why you have a so-called thing as the so-called white people neighborhood, the so-called black people neighborhood, the Hispanic neighborhood, you know. These people live amongst each other, you know. You don't see upper class white people living in the hood, you know, right there beside Jake, you know. That's not who you're talking about. People always lived amongst their own people, you know. But nevertheless, America's over here, you know, being that kingdom on top that the earth was given into, you know, pouring this strong drink or they wine out onto these nations, you know. This is again a part of their wickedness, man. You could be, you know, you claim to be the basically like the light of the earth or the guidance of the earth and the people. How do you say that? That got all the information, more or less, to say you the poster child, you know, you the head how do you say, role model, you know. You think you the head role model, but what do when you go out and you try to show people how to, you know, what a role model does? You show people more or less how to follow the ropes, you know, to teach them how to do certain things, you know. And what have you been teaching them? All right, you basically getting them all drunk. Yeah, you teaching them, yeah, women need to have sex with women, men need to have sex with men, you know. You teaching them that, oh yeah, you can go out there and be promiscuous and have sex with whoever you want to have sex with and catch all kind of STDs and then when you get pregnant, you can go ahead and have an abortion, no problem. You know, we'll even give you like morning and after pills so you can just constantly keep destroying your body, you know. And also, you know, your women don't need to be fully clothed and stuff like that. No, you're oppressing those women. Let those women walk around with their titties and ass all hanging out so men can further, how do you say, not respect them, more or less to say, you know. How can anybody respect anybody else if that person don't first respect their own self, you know? You walking around looking like basically you walking around looking exactly like a whore, you know, but you want people to treat you like a queen. Same with America. America's walking around as that great whore, but want everybody to treat America like that queen, you know? And by that I mean, look, America being that whore, first of all, you going around making everybody drunk, you know, with your madness, for one. And also you going around the earth bombing the whole damn planet, you know? But yet you want everybody to look at America like it's such a righteous nation, you know? You like, you know what you're going to get into, you known for your slavery, you know? Just like Egypt was. But yet, you know, you push out freedom. You push out that you're the freest nation. This is the freest nation on the planet Earth, you know? This is basically that strong drink, you know? You're making everybody damn drunk with your bullshit, you know? But nevertheless, You know, that's just, you know, that's just how America get down, you know. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17. Let me read verse 5 and 6. It says, upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay? Now, again, like I just said, you know, America is, and the name written upon her forehead, you know, mystery. What the fuck's the mystery? It's a mystery how you can go out there and push that, you know, this the freest nation. We don't oppress people. We for liberation. But you got the most people in hardcore slavery over here. Like, you known for slavery over here. All right? And you want to bring peace to everybody, but you're the only one bombing every damn body. Okay? That's the mystery. How can, the mystery is, you know, you tell people, you bring out the wickedness of America, and people look at you like you crazy, but like, man, the most vicious nation on the planet Earth, you know, the most brutal regime and dictatorship that they have on the planet Earth. You know, if you was to ask people what's the most brutal nation or the most brutal dictatorship, more or less to say, on this planet Earth, you know, and they'll come out the woodworks, one of the Middle Eastern countries, or North Korea, or Iran, or some shit like that. The last thing they would think about is America, you know. Then you try to bring out America, like, would you believe that America, you know, what's the biggest state sponsor of terrorists, you know? Or what country has the most abortions? What country, or if you, like, what country is known for killing the most babies? Okay? What country is known to have the most people in slavery in 2018? You know? What nation is known for straight murdering or genociding, like, innocent men, women, and children on a daily basis? What nation is this, you know? And again, it's a mystery to people because the last thing they would think about is America, you know? But the answer to all that is America, you know? America is like number one in abortions, number one with incarceration rates. It was number one in the most brutal slavery, you know, over here, part of the transatlantic slave trade, even though they didn't even have the most slaves over here in America, you know? And you know, like I said, they got the most people incarcerated and all these things, you know? That's the mystery to people. The people can't see, you know, what's right there in front of their face, you know? The most, you know, deranged and brutal nation on the planet Earth, you know, it's America. It's right here in America, you know? But people say, no, we're free. We're so free here. But how was America established? How did America get its birth and its milk and its nourishment to grow up to be so strong? It was fed off of slavery. But like, and you know, watching Elder Apostle Gabar's video the other day, he was going into a lot of these companies that pretty much got their start and got rich basically, and still here to this day off of slavery, you know, like Brooks Brothers, the suit company, you know, they pretty much got big off of making slave clothing, Wells Fargo, you know, and some of these other insurance companies, you know, they was insuring slaves, you know. It's like, you know, how the hell, you know, you got all your nourishment in your milk, like as an analogy of a baby, you know, a baby's getting his nutrients and stuff and growing from the milk that it's drinking, you know, to be built up to be a full-grown human being, you know, throughout its process. And the same with America. You're like, wait a minute, you know, you was raised up off of slavery, you know, that titty that you was drinking the milk from. What was that titty? That titty was slavery, you know? So your whole makeup, you know, the things that make you up, you know, the building blocks of your whole foundation is slavery. But just you push off the fact of this is the freest nation, the most non-oppressed nation, and you want to go and push freedom and liberation to people, you know? Like, you should go check your own self first and foremost. You know, a lot of this shit you're talking about is all stemming from you, you know? Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Like I was just saying, you know, the woman was drunken with the blood of the saints, you know. Picnics, barbecues, lynching, you know, just slavery, brutal slavery, you know. Nowadays, they gunning Jakes down. The police is gunning Jakes down, you know. And for these damn Edomites and stuff talking about black on black crime and stuff like that, like, okay, show me a so-called nigga who got a damn a arms or munitions factory. Okay, we don't own no shit like that. Who owns like, you know, all these companies that make these arms, and how are they getting into the hand of Jake? You know, a lot of them are felons and stuff like that, and they ended on the law books that they can't, you know what I'm saying, get weapons. You know, they coming into the hood some kind of way. You know, when you really go into these hoods and stuff, and you know what I'm saying, like obviously most Jake grew up in the hood. You know, you'll see some crazy shit in the hood. You be like, you know. As a little kid growing up, I done seen some strange shit in the hood. Now looking back at it, like, where the fuck did y'all get grenades from? Where did y'all get, what do you call them shits? Pretty much like a grenade launcher and shit. Where did y'all get shit like that from? Where do y'all get these Uzis and shit from? Where do y'all get all this? You can't go to the store and buy this shit, you know? And in your normal gun stores, this shit's not being sold over there. Where did y'all get it from, you know? You have to understand it and try to figure those things out. And when you look at how America, now see, America is a big, they make a lot of money off the black market, more or less to say, you know. Now look up the story of Freeway Ricky Ross, who the rapper Rick Ross gets his name from. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You know, you'll be like, well, what about all the drugs that your people sell to each other? He's a prime example about how he first of all, he was overly oppressed in his own neighborhood, you know, couldn't make a living for himself. And what was he going to do? He, like, okay, you can go work for Esau for X amount of dollars, and you still going to be behind on everything. We're going to just overwork you, over-oppress you, and you're still not going to have enough. Or we'll give you these here drugs that you can make a whole lot of money off of, right? So, you know, it's just like you take two dogs and you starve them out to death, you know? And then you put one piece of meat and make them fight to the death. You know, these could have been two brother dogs that didn't want to fight each other, but because they been brought down to the point of starvation, you know, they see that meat, the only thing they think about is survival, you know. And so, like, Freeway Ricky Ross is a prime example about, you know, a good rebuttal to all these Edomites talking about what about black on black crime, or what about the drugs in your neighborhood and stuff like that. But like, yeah, we wouldn't have none of that shit if y'all, first of all, wouldn't have cut us off, you know, like they used to do back in the old days, you know, when they used to go to war. Before, they wouldn't just go and attack another kingdom like that. First of all, they would cut off the supply route, you know. So they would cut off like the food, the water, and all this and that. So now the people getting weaker. They ain't eating and stuff like that. And then, you know, imagine a city that, you know, a walled village or whatever, you know, and they ain't had food for like 6 months. Now you got the people inside of that walled city going at each other's throat, killing each other for the last little bit of food just to survive. And at the very end of it, you know, you march your army in, it's only a small handful of people and they already weakened, you know, and you could just dominate on their ass. That's exactly what Esau is doing in our neighborhoods, you know. He's over here taking away all our jobs, the qualifications and things like that, you know, making it hard for us to get anywhere. You know, most chicks in these hoods, they don't really have no good mode of transportation and stuff like that to get to a further place for their jobs, you know. And in the hoods and stuff, you don't have these big companies that make. Look at, just go right through the hood, man. Look at it, all the little establishments in the hood, and you tell me if you can make a living working at a liquor store, a McDonald's, a check cashing place. You know, you can't make no living in no shit like that, you know. And this is pretty much what's in Jake's neighborhood. So what? You cut off the supply route, right? Now they can't get food and good jobs and stuff like that. And then you give them an alternative. What do? You bring in drugs, right? Okay, now you brought in drugs. Now they can make some money destroying each other in the damn neighborhood because, you know, the people are already oppressed, so now they got something to soothe them from. So it's a win-win situation for Esau. First of all, I'm going to take half the Jake to destroy the other half of Jake. You know, the oppressed ones, the depressed ones, we're going to get them all fucked up on drugs, and we're going to use the other ones over here to sell them the damn drugs. Then we're going to introduce guns because now you got everybody want to be drug dealers to try to get themselves up out of this. And now we're going to make them fight each other. You know, and at the very end, we're going to come in with the police and we're going to arrest the drug addicts, the drug dealers, and then we're going to arrest anybody with guns that's killing each other. So you already got a weakened community, more or less to say, and then you just come in and you just sweep up the rest, you know. Going back to Revelation 17:6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. Yeah, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Yeah, going back to like who we just said about this mystery Babylon, right? And why it's such a mystery, because, you know, like how it is just explained the freeway Ricky Ross deal, and and how they do Jake's and Jake's neighborhoods. If you would say that to anybody, they'd be like, America wouldn't do that, you know. Going back onto this here mystery and why John he wondered with great admiration. Hell, try to tell somebody that, you know, the American government was behind the attacks of 9/11. They're like, why would our government do anything like that? It's a fucking mystery to them. They don't realize how wicked these people really are because they cloaked in this mask of righteousness, more or less to say, you know. But nevertheless, you know, these people have well, let me read how they said it. I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, you know. These people have filled this land with just basically the blood of the Israelites, you know. When they first got over here, what did they do? They eradicated all of Gad and Reuben off of this land, you know. And then with basically all the whole northern kingdom, you know, they started eradicating them. Then they came and brought over the southern kingdom and enslaved them. Then after all of that was kind of done, they just pretty much was having fun tormenting them, you know. So, you know, this place is filled with the blood of the saints over here, you know. We're going to get into Jeremiah. I was just right here, matter of fact. Going back over to Jeremiah 51. Going on to verse 34. This is Jeremiah 51 and 34. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, has devoured me, and has crushed me, and has made me an empty vessel. He has swallowed me up like a dragon. He has filled his belly with my delicates. He has cast me out. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, my blood is upon the inhabitants of Chaldea. Shall Jerusalem say. Yeah, and so basically, you know, this is basically going into the same thing that like it was going on today, you know. You know, you could change some of this up, like Nebuchadnezzar the king, or the king of Babylon, right? You know, you'd be like, well, fuck whoever our current king is, because it don't matter, you know, whether it's George Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump. They all following the same advisors and the same lead, going down the same path that is set before them, you know. They just low-level employees. They just the face of the company, you know. They have somebody behind them. But nevertheless, the king of Babylon, or these Edomites over here in Babylon, have devoured me, and have crushed me, and have made me an empty vessel, you know, and swallowed me up like a dragon. He filled his belly with my delicates and cast me out. Yeah, and the violence done to me and my flesh be upon Babylon. Right. And just go to any Jake neighborhood, man, and find any Jake that's not on drugs, right? And you just look at their eyes, look them in their eyes, and you'll see that they devoured, they crushed, they desolate, they destitute, you know, they done for, you know, and and even the ones that are on drugs and that drink heavily and stuff like that, why do you think they do that kind of stuff, you know? You know, some of them might do it because, oh, it's so fun, but that fun is coming from more or less the realization of how fucked up they are. You know, they need something to balance that out, you know? And basically, you know, that's pretty much why not why the people are in the condition they are, but, you know, when you see people, our people who are just downtrodden and stuff like that, you see, you know, people say that so-called Mexicans drink a lot. You know, they always be drinking and this and that when they get off of work. Why the fuck you think they can't wait to get the fuck off of work, all the shit that they got to go through, you know? I think it's a real fucked up thing that these so-called Mexicans or Israelites, you know, they go into these real nice neighborhoods and they build these big-ass nice houses. They out there slaving and, you know, I've seen some shit where a so-called Mexican was out there talking about, oh, we all rapists, we all criminals. He like, yeah, I'm a fucking rapist. I'm over here raping this goddamn sledgehammer and the shit that he's over here, you know, he was building a house, you know. And he's like, yeah, I'm a fucking rapist. I'm over here raping this shit for your ass, you know. Or more or less like they out in the field. Yeah, I'm raping this fucking field for your ass. I don't have time to go out there and rape a fucking bitch. Why would I want to be a super fucking criminal that I know that at any point in time I can go ahead and get snatched the fuck up, you know? And I'm out here picking strawberries and shit, you know? Like, I just, you know, who the fuck in their right mind is going to go, you know what I'm saying? I got pulled over one time for having two dark tinted windows, and the cop was like, oh, well, I mean, I feared for my life because you could have shot me or something. Like, first of all, you pulled me over. Second of all, I'm clearly in my work clothes. I would not have went to work, you know what I'm saying, and worked these fucking hours, then got off of work and decided I'm going to go roll up on a cop and shoot his ass. I'd have just went and did this shit before time. I'm not going to go to work and be oppressed there and then have to deal with the situation of doing some dumb shit like killing a cop, you know? That just would have been a waste of my time, you know? And you know what I'm saying? It's something that just crushes our people, man. The things that these people say about us, you know? The way these people treat us and stuff like that, you know? You hear these people, these goddamn Mexicans coming over here taking all our goddamn jobs and they sending their money back. But like, wait a minute, what? I don't know of no Edomites in a so-called a good paying job. You know, it's always these fucking Edomites with good jobs, more or less to say they're fucking a boss at their job or some shit like that, you know? Or some top exec. I'm like, you think, first of all, you talking about this non-English speaking Mexican motherfucker. You think this nigga's finna come take your job being, you know, the president of Nike? You think that really the president of Nike finna lose his job to a so-called Mexican who can't speak English? Like, what kind of sense does that make? Like, you just racist in your heart, you know, and you keep saying these things about our people, you know? And even if you do lose your job to a Mexican, who the fuck hired the Mexican? Oh, it was another Edomite. Right. So, you know what I'm saying? These types of things get our people downtrodden, you know? These types of things wearing on our people, you know? Every time we trying to, you know, just trying to do right, you know? When you're trying to do right, people always have fucked up assumptions about you, you know? You know, young Jake, you know, could be walking through the parking lot, you know, this didn't happen to me plenty of times, you know? I'm just trying to walk to my car, getting off of work, it's cold and shit. I'm bundled up, got my hoodie on or whatever because I'm cold, you know? Walking in my car in the parking lot, and then all I hear is doors locking and shit. But like, god damn, like y'all think that we criminals? Like I'm again clearly in my work clothes. Think I'm gonna come rob your ass? Like, why don't you do this shit with the goddamn white man? This nigga still hold countries and entire nationalities of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all the shit that y'all got over here anyway is stolen. Not just the land you got, not just the people you got, but your fucking history and your heritage is stolen. Like, everything about you is stolen. But you look at us like we the criminals. You know? It's all fucked up, you know? Whenever we try to do something, that could go on for days, man. This shit is just, you know? And you men of the Lord, I know how you feel, man. I know how you feel, man. I know you feel this exact way, man. Exact way, like, damn, man, again? Just, you know, every single night you just praying to the Most High, like, let tomorrow be that day, man. Let tomorrow be that day. Or just, you know, like, you know, or anything, you know, just fucking let me go in my sleep, you know, or something like that, because just devoured here, you know, it's just fucked up, man. I can go on that for days, but like, you know, that's just a, you know, a scenario or something that you should just think about, you know. I'm gonna grab this one here first. Or yeah, I'll grab this first. This is Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. It says, "He put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant." And now, I'm not bringing up this point to touch on this, but since we was just talking about it, he put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Okay? Like I was saying, walking through the parking lot, you know, doors locked, and like, damn, man, you basically already casting judgment on me, and I ain't even did shit, you know, I didn't even give you a reason to do shit. I'm just minding my business, going in my own fucking car, you know. And not just that, you know, you want to see another scenario. You seen what happened with the Trayvon Martin thing, you know. Homeboy went out to the store, you know, walked to the store, bought him some Skittles, bought him an iced tea, and he walking back home in his own neighborhood, you know. And you know, how do you call it? Neighborhood security decides that, oh, he must be up to something, you know. He must be under some wickedness. And then call the police. The police ain't get there quick enough, and he just go ahead and cast judgment on him anyway. Oh, I got to go. You know what I'm saying? Basically engage with homeboy. And then when Trayvon is like, I don't know you, I don't see no badge, I'm fearing for my life. I don't know, you know, Jake, you know how Jake is, growing up in their neighborhoods, they preconditioned to certain things. When shit like that happen, you don't know if you finna get robbed or not, you know? You might just think this somebody else trying to rob you, and you trying to defend yourself. Y'all ain't negotiating nothing beforehand. He's already accused you. Hey, stop what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. You know, Jake gets scared, you know. Then all of a sudden y'all get in a scuffle, and you just shot the boy, you know. And not just that, you know, you cast all these fucked up images about us over that whole shit, and no, you know, you don't really know what was going on. The police clearly told homeboy to stop, you know. But nevertheless, and you know, I'm pretty sure that Zimmerman was actually a Jake as well. But at the same time, like I said, you know, we talk about black on black killings or Jake on Jake killings. Who the fuck programmed and brainwashed that motherfucker to be like that? He thinking he a goddamn Edomite, you know? He got to play top flight security of the world, you know? It's like you go into the TSA, through TSA and stuff like that. It's mainly a bunch of Jake women, you know? But who the fuck taught them? Who the one trained them to be that way? Esau trained them to be their fucking lapdog. But nevertheless, we're going to go into, you know, this here scripture, Psalms 55:20. He put forth his hands against such, be at peace with him. He has broken his covenants. Yeah, and all, I believe it was like 400 plus treaties that Esau made with the northern kingdom here, like Gad and Reuben, you know, and he broke every last one of them. Not just that, when he first came over here, he couldn't survive these damn winters because instead of planting and farming and stuff like that, he's so greedy, he's just looking for gold and was about to freeze to death and starve to death, you know. And what happened? Gad and them taught him how to survive over here. Gad taught him, you know, how to farm and stuff like that over here, and how did Esau repay him? He you know, he genocided his ass basically, you know, and then talked shit about him and made mockery of him. Oh, the Redskins, Cowboys versus the Indians, you know, shit like that. Thanksgiving Day dinner, that ritual that they do. It's some bullshit, you know. And we're gonna cut off here. We're gonna come back on the other side. All right.